Hello and welcome to the Kim Jacobs Show. I am so excited to be here with you as the host and also to have Mr. Cassidy McCorkle here with me. How are you,
I'm
Cassidy?
doing well. I'm doing well. Thank you. And
So
yourself?
I am doing well. I'm so glad that you're in the studio today with us. First of all, happy National Women's Equity Day. It's the 100th anniversary in honor of the 19th Amendment. And I want to make sure that I celebrate all women in our equity around the world. So I just want to make sure that I share that today as well. Listen, as you guys are coming into the studio, go ahead and turn on your notifications. Make sure you share the broadcast with your friends. Let people know that the Kim Jacobs Show is here on the air. So right now is the time if you're interested in joining in directly into the studio, because some people say, well, Kim, I really want to come in and I want to talk directly head to head with the guest. This is the link that you will use, and you'll be able to pop right into the studio directly and get a chance to talk with Mr. Cassidy throughout today's broadcast. And we have our flash round, so type your questions, your comments, and Mr. Cassidy will be able to hopefully address those questions and the answers for you. So let's get started.
Well, first, peace and light to everyone.
Wait. I'm getting ready to do my intro.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Peace and light. Come on,
Peace
tell
and
us
light to everyone.
light.
To everyone. And just before we get started, definitely want to send condolences, thoughts, prayers to everyone around the world, and especially to Jacob Blake's family and what they're experiencing right now. I think this is a time, more so than any time in American history, that we need to come together on common ground. Uh, Things haven't been right, but as you'll learn in the segment and in our discussion, conversation turns into inspiration, and inspiration needs to turn into action. So hopefully, our conversation today can inspire someone that they can take action and we can really make change, because we've beat around the bush for far too long, and it's time to have some real action, not just for Black people, but for everyone.
Wow.
So we all need to be together, because this is a God versus Satan thing. It's not a color, it's not a race, it's not a class. Uh, and we definitely need to be unified in this fight, in this front.
That's a blessing that you've already kicked the show off in a very profound way. Let me introduce everyone to you. I know I've had the pleasure of meeting you as well as my guest. And a lot of the guests that come on, I don't know them personally until I get a chance to encounter them here on the Kim Jacobs Show. And it has already been such an honor and a privilege to meet you, Cassidy.
Thank
Cassidy
you.
is the founder of Team Hickory, and you'll learn more about what Team Hickory is. He also is a community activist, and so hence you've already heard some of his thoughts surrounding what's happening here in this world, as well as a high school basketball coach. Now, being a high school basketball coach, you'll learn how he's using that to be able to help build the future of young people. So welcome, Cassidy, to the Kim Jacobs Show.
Thank you again. And like I said, I'm honored to be on your platform, and I'm ready to, talk and see what we can do and learn and grow.
Well, thank you. Also, I'd like to thank Shannon, who's helping me today backstage. Any help that I get is greatly appreciated, and I don't take it for granted. So I just want to give a quick shout out to say thank you, Shannon, for being in the back office today as well. Help is very important. So I
Definitely.
appreciate
Definitely.
it. Anytime people help behind the scenes, which I have a great team that helps, and I can name all of them, but they're just wonderful in helping me make this vision become a reality. And so I thank all of my team members. Okay, so take us just, Cassidy, on a journey. A lot of times when I do the Kim Jacobs Show, my goal is to be able to say, hey, here's where you've been and which you may have overcome to become who you are today, so that people know that they're not on an island by themselves. So what has your journey been like in life? Tell us about it.
Well, my experience is a very common experience to most. It's a story of overcoming, it's a story of failure, it's a story of success, it's a story of not believing in yourself and then believing in yourself, finding inspiration and finding a purpose bigger than yourself to stand for. So starts, you know, raised by my grandmother and my great grandmother in Marietta, Georgia. We lived on Franklin Road. I represent Franklin Road all day, every day. Although it has been gentrified and changed, still the memories of the things and experience and the lives that were lost and the people that lived there and their stories still live on.
Yeah.
Uh, I wrote a very profound post. The Atlanta United, who won the MLS Cup in 2018, actually trained on the road that I grew up on that was filled with poverty and crime. And I wrote a post that, that championship was those people, because those people were champions to survive their conditions to make it through. So that spirit that they trained with was the spirit of those people that lived there before. And, for a second year team to win an MLS Cup, it was pretty profound.
Yes. Wow.
So my perspective is different than most. My age, I'm 36 years old, because I was raised by a woman born in 1913, my great grandmother, and 1930, my grandmother. So I
But
had,
look, before you say this, listen now, if you all put just like a mask and you didn't see Cassidy, you just heard Cassidy, because I've only heard him over the phone, you would think he's this older guy. He was like, hi, I'm Cassidy. And I'm like, when I saw him, I said, you're a young man. So what in the world are you able to articulate at that level, the depth in your voice, and you can tell the wisdom in who you are? What do you attribute that to?
again, being raised by women born in 1930 and 1913. So it's their spirit. Again, I was around older people my whole life. So just, seeking that wisdom and knowledge and just being around them, my great aunts, my great uncles, my aunts and uncles. So just, we were a big family unit. So just being around older people all the time, just kind of, I used to wear like suits to school until like high school. So like I was one of those come from old school like that. So
Were you
it's
forced to wear suits, or did you wear them because you wanted to?
well, my grandmother always wanted me to prepare myself because as a black man, you're going to be looked at a certain way.
Hmm.
So she always wanted me to dress for the position that I wanted to be, not the position that I'm in.
That's a good takeaway right there. So what is your advice to young people today that you see? And I mean, it kind of goes with the fad of what they're doing. I went and subscribed to a couple of different people's sites because my children are so into these rappers and different people. And I'm like, when I look, I'm like, what in the world kind of body parts? It's a lot happening on some of these
Oh yeah.
videos and some of these posts. What advice? But yet they're wildly successful. So some kind of way they've broken the barrier to be able to communicate with young people. And so I'm not putting anything down that they're doing, because some kind of way they're connecting and with the young people today, and that's helping them have their dreams become a reality. But what do you say to stuff like this? Help us.
Well, music is the universal language,
Mhm.
and we all can feel and have thought and reflection through music. So, I mean, there was a time where Billie Holiday was taboo, and Marvin Gaye was taboo, and like my era, Outkast and N.W.A. and Goody Mob, and these were taboo. So the reflection of artists now is just a reflection of the time and the evolution of it. Now, do I agree with all the music? No, because mainstream media throughout the history of us as African Americans has exploited the ignorance in
Mhm.
us. So some of the stuff I don't agree with the imagery for children, because again, it exploits everything that's wrong within the culture.
Right.
And there's not enough Kim Jacobs or Cassidy McCorkles or Michelle Obamas or Barack Obamas or, Fred Hamptons that are shown in mainstream and light. So children can have something else to inspire to, because it's given a thing. If we're not entertaining, then we're no good.
Right. Right.
And we're so much more than that as a people.
Right.
So definitely some artists speak to, those artists don't get the credit that they deserve, the Kendrick Lamars and stuff like that, that really have a profound message in their music. Nipsey Hussle, God rest his soul, is part of the reason when I started listening to him in about 2008, is how Team Hickory is a manifestation of his ideas and thoughts is a manifestation of Team Hickory. And we'll get into some more of things that I want to do, but it's expounding on things that he's inspired me to do. You know, T.I., although you see the content change as people get older. So I still listen to rap music, but I'm more of a Jay-Z 444 album more so than a Reasonable Doubt. I'm
You don't all the way down to the specific album 444.
Yeah, I'm an adult contemporary rap music now.
That's funny because sometimes when we go around the car, we each get to play a song that we're interested in playing in the car. So I always play gospel music. So I play Corinne Hawthorne or Mary Mary and Tamala Mann and different, you know, like you name it. All kinds of people. I play a lot of gospel. I don't know all of their different names, Kirk Franklin, blah, blah, blah. I play a lot of different ones. Definitely Ty Tribbett. We be like, wow, you know, going in. But then my kids are like, Mom, let us play something we want you to hear. And one of the songs that one of my kids played, which I was like, that was dope, as the kids say. They you know, it was Joyner Lucas, and he was playing I Want to Be Like Will. And it was off the chain. I was like, oh, and all he was doing was giving tribute to Will Smith. And I thought that was just so amazing that another rapper would give tribute to someone that inspired and he admired to become his better version of himself. So anyway, I know we went into a tangent about rap music, which that wasn't the whole. The whole point is that young people have to have that thing that they can grab onto to feel like I connect enough with you to want to do better in life. So what you do is you use basketball.
Yes, ma'am.
To be a platform to connect with people. How are you doing that?
Well, we started out with doing expungement clinics back in 2013.
Okay.
Before Team Hickory ever came as to be known as a basketball entity. Just because, again, with education and service, you need to educate yourself to the communities that you're serving.
Right.
You can't just have an idea that, yes, I'm going to go serve the community. I'm going to go feed homeless people. Well, why are they homeless? Educate yourself to that process. And I learned, and through moving back to Hickory into my community, misdemeanor charges, weed charges, things like that was stopping them from getting proper housing, schooling, jobs. So then you stay in that cycle of poverty because of. So I started with expungement clinics, and then the Affordable Care Act came, and we started from expungement clinics to Affordable Care Act.
What is an expungement clinic for those that are watching today?
Expungement clinics are if you have, like I said, misdemeanor charges on your background, you can get those all removed. Just kind of, you know, when you go to court and you get a prayer for judgment, and that kind of just so it gives you a second chance that a lot of people don't know that they have. So from the expungement clinics to the Affordable Care Act clinics, getting people health care, because there's a lot of people in our community that just did not have health care. So from there, we did back to school drives, and I've been fortunate enough to partner with Legal Aid of North Carolina. That in our back to school drives, we had lawyers on site where we can give parents instructions on IEP plans for their kids, get them properly tested to know what their learning disabilities are. Good. So therefore, we can have a plan in place to help them.
Okay.
So because all kids don't learn the same way, that doesn't mean your child is ignorant. It just means they learn different, and we need to find a way to learn and make a plan so they can be successful as well.
So are you meeting with the parents for these different clinics, or are you meeting with the parents and their children?
Parents and children, especially with like the expungement stuff is generally more adult. Affordable Care Act, more adult, but with the IEP, you know, we meet with the parents and, you know, get to them to understand the rights and that you have. You just don't have to send your kids to school when they fail. If they're failing, let's find out why. Because your child is not done.
So this is universal advice, not just in Hickory. What you're sharing is advice that can help any person that's watching today's broadcast to understand the process of how to identify why your child may be experiencing the need for a learning IEP, as well as if they've had something on their record, how to get it expunged, and how to have affordable health care through the Affordable Health Care Act. And so this is good. Now, these trainings, are you doing them? You're doing them in Hickory, but are what are some tips that you can share with people that are watching today's broadcast? Because my show is international.
Yeah.
I can say that.
So if you do have legal aid, there's legal aid in North Carolina, legal aid all over the country. Contact your local branch. And Hickory is Caldwell County, Burke County, Catawba County is the counties that they serve. So make sure that you're contacting if you have questions, and it's all income based. So, you definitely have to go through a qualification part, right? But
What
we'll make
department
sure
is that? What department is that? The legal aid?
it's called legal aid.
Okay, so type that for everyone, Shannon, as well. Is the legal aid department within your county nationwide should be able to help with expungement?
It's fun. Anything that you need, small claims court, more civil stuff, DVs, protection orders, all kinds of things. Housing, if you're having an issue with your landlord, all the things that, poor people can't afford lawyers to do. And sometimes they're exploited and they don't have the legal counsel. So then they get evicted over something that potentially they were in the right for. So legal aid is a great service, kind of like it's a public defender, but for civil matters, if that
That's
makes
good.
sense.
Well, how do people know? And when I hear guests talk, it makes sense to us because we're sitting here just like, oh yeah, call legal aid. But what happens when a person picks the phone up and they call legal aid? How do they know what to even say to be able to get the help that they need? Because at the end of the day, it's just some random person calling saying, I need help. Well, what do you need help with?
So you just have to be thorough when you do call the hotline. They definitely vet you and you get to explain your situation.
Okay.
And then they can put you with a person or a legal advisor that fits your needs. I ask that anybody that calls anyone that needs help be transparent and be honest.
Mhm.
And that way you can get the proper service that you need.
Okay. So let me type in, I want to say contact legal aid in your community, in your county is what you're saying.
Yes, ma'am. And federally funded as well. So, I mean, this is a federal grant that's given to states. I only know to speak of my experience with North Carolina. I haven't experienced outside of North Carolina, but it's
Okay.
definitely federally funded. So these people are here to help you.
Okay, that's good. And so I'm just going to put that up. Make sure you all do reach out to your legal aid department in your county, and they should be able to assist you and be very transparent is definitely advice that Cassidy is sharing as well. So as you have started working with these young people with the Team Hickory, hello, Rhonda, how are you? Glad to have you on today.
Peace and light to you, Miss Rhonda.
Yes, make sure you guys know that you can share this, tag friends, let people know that we're talking about how to build the future of young people today through education and community service. And Cassidy McCorkle is here with us today as our guest to shed light on that. So what made you form Team Hickory?
Well, Team Hickory, I was coaching at Hickory High and I was coaching AAU basketball, travel basketball, whatever you want to call it. And I was having to drive to Charlotte to one coach, take kids. So I'm gone during the week. So I'm taking our talent pool of Hickory to be quote unquote exploited for someone else's use. So we have a lot of kids in Hickory that are very, very talented. Our high school, when we were coaching there, I think we were like 157 and 39. We made the regionals several times. We lost in the regional final by one on a buzzer beater. I mean, we've been very profound and been very successful.
Right.
But and kids in our area, don't have the resources to drive to Charlotte. Charlotte, for some people, is an hour and 15 minutes, hour 30 minutes. Some is 45. Just depends on where you live in the county. And again, the program I was coaching for is a great program, but the fees were $1,200, $1,500, $1,000.
Right.
And in our county, in our town, and you have to understand the dynamics of Hickory. Hickory was an old mill town. So when technology came in the mid to late 90s, all those people lost their jobs because, things could be produced better. Factories went away. For example, my mom basically walked out of high school and walked across the street from her cap and gown to work in a yarn mill called Regal. that was right across the street from our high school.
Okay.
So, those were the opportunities were there. So could you make a decent living? Yes. But you were uneducated and you were, skilled labor for a certain set of skills. So you basically went around factory to factory
Hmm.
because Hickory is known for producing the world's most fiber optic cable, a company named Secor that switched to Corning. So, just having those opportunities, we always felt like we couldn't do it in Hickory and we had to go to Charlotte or someone
Wow.
else. So I wanted, I just got tired of driving, more or less, getting off at 5 o'clock.
You're like, enough is enough. We have rich
Yeah.
history right here in Hickory, and we're going to start making a change.
Yes. Yes, definitely. So we came up with the concept. There were some people doing things, but we were not unified in Hickory and one entity. So that's why I came up with the concept of Team Hickory, not so much to take over existing programs, but we blend it all together and be one
Good.
family and one unit, and that we all benefit together. And the benefit and the manifestation is the kids and serving the kids, and then teaching them to how to educate them to the process so they can serve their community as well. Because again, education is just not a degree or a piece of paper; it's a start. But then we can get to build relationships more and find out underlying issues where they have mentorship through their coaches and myself and the leaders in our program. But they can also have somebody that that's in their corner that can say, hey, let me see your report card.
Okay.
Okay. Or we contact counselors, and most of them don't give us the information because of legal stuff, but they know that, hey, Coach McCorkle or Coach whomever called me about you.
Right.
So they know someone is checking on them, because we don't know what happens when that kid leaves our practice. We only have them for 3 hours during the week, and we don't know what happens when you leave. Uh, you can be in an abusive situation. You can not be fed. There's a lot of stuff that I've experienced in coaching.
Right.
So we want to have them have that positive where they can just feel like there's someone in that period of time. And that's what Team Hickory stands for. And then we can educate ourselves to their home environments, and then serve them better. And that's where education and community service comes in. Because as I said before, a lot of people just say, well, this is a poor area. This is how
Right.
we fix it. We're going to make sure they get high school diplomas. But if you're not fixing the underlying generational curses and
Right.
issues, the same cycle goes on.
Goes into
Look at
it.
America. How many people have been serving communities in Atlanta and Chicago and New York, and the same thing happens because
Good.
no one is really addressing the systematic issues that's oppressing those people.
And what do you think are well, first of all, let me say shout out to your sister, Flora McCorkle. Hello, everyone. So proud of my brother.
I am proud of her as well. She has definitely a story of to and fro here and there that she's manifested and stayed strong. And at times she could have gave up, she didn't, and she stayed strong. So I'm very proud of her, and I want the world to know that I'm very proud of my sister.
Oh,
Uh,
Flora. He's so proud of you too, sis. And hey, while all of this pride is happening, can you take a moment and subscribe to the Kim Jacobs Show on YouTube as well, Flora? Yeah, encourage everybody. Make sure you all subscribe and be a part of every show that comes on the Kim Jacobs Show. We air live at 11 o'clock a.m. Monday through Friday, and have guests like Cassidy McCorkle coming on to shed light on some key information. What do you think is the root systematic problem, Cassidy, as to what needs to be truly addressed?
well, one, all people have to face reality. This country was not set up for African Americans and poor people in general. Again, I told you I was raised by women
Mhm.
that, the Civil Rights Act was passed in 68. My grandmother was 38 years old when she got basic civil rights as a black woman in America. That is a problem. I'm 36, so I would still have to live 2 more years without basic human rights. So people can't say this was a thing of the past,
Mm.
because 1968 was not that long ago. You know, we as black people have only been free for about 52 years, like free as in having rights, the ability to
Right.
vote, to walk the street, not being segregated uh, from the mainstream society that we had to go live in certain areas or be in certain areas. And So, and then we have to understand that again with the system, there's redlining. Hickory is a huge area where redlining is an issue. Uh, the majority of Black people live in one pocket of Hickory, and it's really
Right.
sad that you have quote unquote downtown Hickory, which is no metropolis by any stretch of the imagination, but you have a railroad track, and then you have quote unquote the hood, or where the majority of the Black people live at. So
Right.
you can see wealth, you can see it, but you also turn back around, and you see poverty,
Hmm.
and that is just not fair. And in Catawba County, where Hickory is, you have major school systems. And again, I was fortunate enough to be a graduate of Frederick Ford High School, so I was in a county school
Hmm.
because my mom, moved out to Newton. But you have Newton Conover and Hickory City Schools as a separate school district in Catawba County. And the
Hmm.
two things that are equivalent to both of those is there's only two with low income housing. Well, guess what? Your test scores are lower in that school than all the other county
Of
schools
course, right. That's
because the
unfortunate.
impoverished people live
Right.
in
They
that
don't have the
area.
right resources.
Exactly.
If you don't have the same level playing field, it's hard to. It's just very difficult to judge apple. It's not apples to apples. It's
It's
not.
not. It's not. And then, and coaching basketball, I'm coaching kids that are second and third generation welfare recipients, which is crazy.
Mm.
That's a generational curse and a cycle. So we have to be honest that our country was not set up with minorities in mind. I mean, again, you say the Bill of Rights and the Declaration of Independence. Well, slavery was still going on,
Oh yeah.
and it says all men are created equal. Well, if all men are created equal, we should have had rights on that day.
That's right. On the day that we were all created equal from the beginning,
Yeah.
So I agree. Now, so a lot of times we talk and we're trying to figure out what can we do to make the change happen. Where do we go, even if it's a baby step process to see the change with just the group of people that you're in charge of? What are some things that you recommend that parents and families can do to just jumpstart this process? Step one.
Well, step one, start at a local level, organize at a local level, because the real change affects you locally before it will statewide or nationwide with a presidential election. If you have prosecutors who are biased or racist or bigoted to anyone or classes, get that prosecutor out. Attend your school board meetings. Know who's on your school board. Know who's your
Okay. So
county.
wait, step one is start at a local level.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And attending, these are open meetings, so you get the playbook of what the town and county or whatever is doing. We just don't attend. And you can poll people. How many people know who's on their school board and what they do on their school board? Who's your county commissioner? Not just who's the mayor, because the mayor can only do so much. Who's your police chief? How are you being policed in your area? Are the policemen living in your community? Because again, I think this is the biggest issue with police. A lot of police officers police areas that they know nothing about. So they already have a bias in their mind that these people are thugs or criminals or whatever. And I'm there to just be there. And if somebody's gonna mess up and I gotta correct. But they have that fear coming back from slavery days where they depicted Black men as evil and rapists. I
Right.
implore everyone to see Ava DuVernay's Netflix documentary 13th, and it explains we have been made to be savages and put in these ghettos and things of that nature. So definitely starting locally and starting making change there, and having real accountability of yourself. Um, you know,
That's good. That's good advice right there for a moment. Let's talk about that because it's easy for everyone to talk about what we can do to help change somebody else. And here's what I'm doing to change this or to do that. But what I hear you saying is changing yourself
yes,
first,
ma'am.
letting it start by us taking accountability and learning our local government, learning our school board meetings and going to them, even if you have to catch a bus so your voice is heard.
Yeah,
Type of
because we'll catch the bus for A&T's homecoming in North Carolina, or we'll make a way to do certain things that we want to do that really have no bearing in our day-to-day common life. So why can't we make a time for things that are important to us? Uh, because again, changing yourself. Maybe I'm not going to go to this movie or this concert. I'm going to go to the school board meeting this night and see what's going on. Well, why
Wow.
are our kids not being educated? What are the level that our kids are statistically taking scores on a statewide level? You
That's
know,
good.
and these are the things that we need to do. You have to, one, internalize, look at yourself. Am I being the manifestation of what I want to see in the world? Do I
Right.
have bias in my heart and things that I'm doing that I can change? Because you can't change the world till you change yourself. And
Bottom line.
I am the definition of that.
So while you've been talking, Shannon graciously backstage has been putting some steps to what you were saying. So step one is start in your local area. Step two is know who your leaders are. Example, mayor, city council, school board members. Step three, find a way to make your voice heard.
Step four, have an agenda. Once you attend these things, listen to what they're saying, come back, strategize, and have an agenda to present the next time, and have a real agenda. Because a lot of us, again, in this community, we've been protesting and marching for so long. Are we not tired of that yet? And it is a thing. You protest to get your voice heard. Well, once your voice is heard, what action do we have? And a
Wow.
lot of times we do not follow through with our agenda. What do we want? And then vote on that agenda. Vote for candidates, whether Republican, Democratic, Independent, Green Party, whatever. Because no one particular party has held us down through history.
Wow.
Find a candidate and then hold that candidate accountable based off your agenda.
Right. That's
Let that candidate know this is what we demand as the community. If you do not do these things that you promise us you're going to do, we are going to vote you out in the next election and find somebody that will.
wow. You sound very you sound very convincing. So if I was in office and you called my office and said, listen, this is Cassidy McCorkle, and if you don't do what you say you're going to do, we're going to vote you out, I will take heed to what you're saying. So I do agree. One voice can make a difference, especially if it sounds as strong as your voice, you know?
And then from there, after that, if you're not getting what you want, put yourself in that arena. Go
Hmm.
do it yourself.
Well, see now, Cassidy, you done opened up a whole new conversation. So I don't know if you know that, but by you saying what you're saying, then that leads me to say, what are you planning? Because see now, I was student government, senior class president at James Madison University in 1992. I was a senior class president at Ferguson High School in Newport News 757 in 1988. But now it's like I'm not in any kind of governmental thing or whatever. But what you're over there saying is if you don't like certain things, put yourself in that position. What position are you going to put yourself in the future, Mr.
Well,
Cassidy McCorkle?
well, it's not even future; it's present day. Being with community leaders, with Team Hickory, I'm putting myself on the forefront. That I'm going to be the example, and organizing and strategizing. Now, a political career might happen after that, but I want to make sure that I'm doing my part to educate people and serve first. So when it does come time, no one can say, well, this guy is this or that. No, this guy has been in the street. You can feel him, you can touch him, you can reach out to him.
Good.
Uh, and he's a real thing and his ideas are real and he cares. And again, it just takes, you don't like who on the school board and you can't find the person, get on the school board yourself.
I love it. I mean, you're speaking my language. Be the change that you want and be the change that you hope to have happen in this world. And you're doing a great example of that right there in Hickory, in a small town called Hickory, North Carolina. Here you're changing the world from a local area. So because the advice that you're giving is advice that people that are watching in Africa today, people that are watching in London today that tune into the Kim Jacobs show, your advice is going universal. So thank you for the tips that you're sharing.
Thank you for the platform to share it because again, I never thought growing up on Franklin Road and Marietta, Georgia, that I would ever be having this conversation because again, I've seen poverty, I've seen real crime, I've seen it all. You know, people shot and killed, dead bodies, drug dealers, and we had actually it's an oxymoron, but we had good drug dealers in our neighborhood that it was no drugs sold in our neighborhood. Everything was out, and then all of their drug dealing was again a sense of the '94 crime bill, uh, you know, that locked people up for a crack rock, but you can have a key of cocaine and it would almost balance out to the same time. So
Yeah.
those people hustled out of necessity and despair, in which I don't never condone drug dealing, but by any stretch of the imagination.
Right.
But these were the guys when we got off the bus at school that wanted to see our report cards. And if we
Right.
had good grades, they would give us $20 for an A, $10 for a B, $5 for a C.
Wow.
So although they were doing wrong morally, they wanted to make sure that they're building for the future by using education and community service.
Wow.
Uh, and if you look at, most of these street gangs, which I've learned to call them street fraternities now, they started out Bloods, Crips, the Black Panthers, the Gangster Disciples. They started out as community groups to protect their people
Right. Right.
until drugs infiltrated and changed the narrative on it.
Hmm.
And we got to get back to a sense of who we are as a people. And like I've really been with my nephew, I've really been on him about learning who Fred Hampton was, who accomplished so much by the age of 21. He was the one, uh, and they knew he was the one. And this goes to show the power of the government. The government so knew he was the one, they put a informant in to make sure he was killed, that his message wouldn't get out,
Right.
because he was uniting all people. Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King was public enemy number one. So the same people that every Martin Luther King Day, oh, Martin Luther King this and I have a dream, y'all were the same ones villainizing that man. And what got Martin Luther King killed is when he started the Poor People's March. When he
Hmm.
started uniting all people and not just black people, because
Right.
again, if we're smart enough to know black people make 12 to 13% of America, there's not enough of us to really overthrow any government. We need people to work with us. So if you have 100 people, 12 to 13 are black.
Right.
If 40% of black males are in prison, now that number is now decreased.
Hmm.
Now the police kill one or two of us, or we kill ourselves. Now that number is even more decreased.
Right.
So there's just not enough of us to really, really make swift change unless we communicate with others and unite with others to get our platform out and our message and our agenda out.
Wow. There's such profound wisdom that you're sharing. Guys, we're getting prepared for the flash round, which is going to be, sorry, my at home, my battery charger
Oh,
cable.
it's okay.
Okay. Anyway, we're getting ready for the flash round here on the Kim Jacobs Show. So make sure you type your questions, ask any questions that you have. You're a part of the virtual studio audience, so it's been a lot of information that's already shared. So you may have some specific questions for Cassidy McCorkle. Now is the time to type those questions, or if you want to be brought into the studio, I'll pop that link up again. Some people want to come in and just say, hey, congratulations, you've been an inspiration to me, whatever it is, as long as it's positive, because I don't want to bring anybody onto the studio to be saying any crazy stuff. I will bleep you out and delete that part of the whole thing. Okay. So
And
let
I'll
me,
be very clear. I'm from Marietta, Georgia, so I welcome all smoke. I don't back down from no one, especially if I believe in something. But I wanted to expound upon the basketball real quick because I haven't got to talk about that enough. So with the basketball, what we're trying to do is get young men and young women education, and get them scholarship opportunities. So Team Hickory as a basketball program was his first year last year, and we had 10 graduating seniors. We had 10 graduating seniors all on scholarship to play basketball at the next level, from
excellent.
Division I to junior college basketball. But in that, and this is where we're different than most programs, because we don't want to just put kids in school to say, hey, play for our organization, we're going to get you a college degree. We're going
Right.
to make sure that college degree works for you and that school works for you, because I challenge everyone to go through the big time schools and college athletics, and you'll start seeing a trend in majors that are picked. So yes, you're getting a free opportunity to get a degree, but you're going to get a degree in what we want you to have to keep you eligible to use your body. I'm a graduate of Appalachian State University, which is a great university.
Yeah.
And I had a conversation with one of my buddies because he was like, you know, my degree is computer information systems, and we played football together.
Mm-hmm.
And in his conversation, he was like, "Yeah, you were one of the ones that didn't have the same major because everyone was communications or criminal justice." I
Mm-hmm.
even had a teammate ask me why I was so smart because C's got degrees. Well, I'm just not here to use my body for football. I ended up blowing out my knee and getting injured and had a lung collapse, so I didn't get to my aspirations for the NFL like everyone else's who's playing collegiate sports didn't manifest. But I
Mm-hmm.
got my education and what I wanted to get my education in, and I just don't have a degree because again, there's a difference between there's a lot of fools who are educated,
Mm-hmm.
if that makes sense. So I don't have a college degree just to say, hey, I'm some statistical number of a black man who has a college degree. I have a college
Right.
degree that's going to work for me, and I use the university to get that education. They didn't use my body to make money and profit off of. So there needs to be more conversation with athletes on getting a degree that's going to benefit you after your athletic career. So
I
that's what
love
Team Hickory is really about. You know, giving kids the opportunity to play and be seen, um, being a mentorship and a partnership, and coming along with them and learning the needs of their families, if there is any. Not all families struggle, but we're going to be beside you all the way, no matter what. And then once you get to college, making sure that you get a degree that's going to work for you. What do you want to do? Because this ball is not going to bounce forever.
That's a good point because the ball does not bounce forever because night comes in everybody's life at some point. So what's beyond your physical ability, and that's where the educational piece is. If somebody is like cutting grass, right? I wish and it's my neighbor, so I can't tell them, "Hey, cut the lawnmower off." They'll be like, "Lady, go back in your house," because I'm like, "What?" Right this second, of course. But hopefully, it's not. Is it disturbing the broadcast too much?
It's not disturbing me at all.
Okay, perfect. Okay, it's like really loud. All right, so what I want to do is, first of all, that's some great information. Getting this whole Team Hickory together because you're helping them. When you say, let me ask this too. When you say you're helping them choose a degree or a field of interest, you're helping to guide them in the direction or steering them in the direction of what's a better major.
No, what they're interested in. Most schools, especially with big time athletics, are going to
Mhm.
put you in a major. You're going to be undecided, and then at some point you're going to have
Right.
to pick.
Mhm.
We're gonna what are you interested in? I'm not gonna pick it for you, but what do you want to do with your life? Because this is gonna end. What do you want?
Okay.
I like drawing. We'll be an art major.
Right.
I
Right.
like writing. Write. I like music. Learn how to produce music. I mean,
Good. Okay.
there's that's what we want to do. We want to come along. We don't want to choose the path for you, but we want to be an assistance to hold your hand as long as you want us to be around. Like I tell every kid in our program, whether you're in the program or for 1 year, 10 years, whatever the case may be, you have us as a family member for life. We're never going to
Right.
speak discouraging of you because there are opportunities that our program can't provide because based off talent level. Like we have a young man uh, that's one of the best players in the nation. Well, Team Hickory's not established enough to help him get to his goals. But
Okay.
if he wants to reach out to us, we're going to be there because he's from our town, and we're
Right.
going to support him, and we're going to love him, and we're going to lift him up. Now, could he help Team Hickory get more prominence based off his skills? Yes, but that would be exploiting him for his talents, and that's no benefit to anyone
Right.
because there's a lot of people that exploit children, and it's not fair. And he deserves better, and we deserve better. So we're not going to put kids that we can't help them grow just to elevate ourselves.
Wow. You. I know you're here on the Kim Jacobs Show, and I'm quite proud to have you on the Kim Jacobs Show. But I can see definitely much more even in your future as far as the different platforms that will be opened up for you to share. your advice and your wisdom. So this is great. Let's go for a moment. Today's episode sponsor. Did I put that up there yet? No, I did not. Let me put that. Let me go ahead and let you all know that today, I'll put that in the comment section before I start talking, because then it's kind of, okay. Today's episode sponsor is sponsored by Start My Trucking Company. And I'm going to take you to their website, startmytruckingcompany.com. If you're interested in learning more about how you can actually start your own trucking company from scratch, they have a turnkey system. It's an outstanding program where you can become a business owner and start your own trucking company from scratch. You can reach out to me and I'll connect you directly with the owner. And let me take you to their, I'm going to mute you, Shannon, because I saw that you came back in. And let me take you to their website. It's startmytruckingcompany.com. And it's moving in a box is what. So they work with you to help you develop your trucking business plan, as well as you can learn more about their company, as well as if you're interested in international trucking. So there's a wide variety of programs that's offered through the Start My Trucking Company. And they have an office in Texas with about a 200-person call center. The phone number is 214-699-5009. You can also email info@startmytruckingcompany.com. If you should reach out to them directly, make sure you let them know that the Kim Jacobs Show referred you. But I recommend that you would email me directly so that I can connect you with the owner. And I did that recently with another client of mine and a viewer of mine, and they've had a great relationship formed. So thank you for sponsoring today's episode, Start My Trucking Company. Okay, we're going to go to a flash round as well. And that's where you all have been posting your comments and questions. Donald said, well said, Coach.
What's going on, Donald? How you doing, man?
Okay, that must be a friend, because now you done got him out of his element of, Mr. Corkle. Now you're already away. Hey, what's up, Donald? Okay, so you must be a real good friend.
Yeah, I mean he's one of the guys that understands where what Hickory is about, being from Hickory. And having to leave Hickory to find opportunity. So he definitely is one of the people that know and someone I look up to because he's older than me. And we just have a good relationship. Another example, he's another one of the kids whose son is on the platform, play with us, but he had an opportunity for a bigger platform, and we still help. We retweet, we send out information to college coaches, whatever they need, and he can definitely speak to that too. That just because he's not in a Team Hickory uniform, that we're always going to support.
That's good. Good teamwork and collaboration. Flora says, do you think in the near future that we will be able to bring mentors, big brother, big sister programs back into our communities for our Black youth, especially for our Black males?
That's what we're working on. And I'm in the process of doing a lot of things first. The first thing I want to get off the ground is a community arts center. Because we probably have the next Langston Hughes or Maya Angelou or the next Billie Holiday or the next Mahalia Jackson. So what we want to do is have a center where, you have music on one floor, art, drawing art and writing center together, photography on the next one, and then graphic arts. So we're looking for a 4-story building to do that. And that's where the Big Brother and Big Sister program will come in. Looking to start an after-school tutoring program as well from 4 to 8, Monday through Thursday, with retired teachers. So those things is how you get into the Big Brother, Big Sister program. And then recognizing that every opportunity that you have doesn't come with a paycheck. So we need people to come out there. Like I'm in the position I am right now because of Team Hickory. I make no money from Team Hickory. I actually lost $5,000 this first year, but I got 10 kids in college. So lose 5,000 to get 10 kids in college. That's what you do it for. But from that, the owner of the company I now work for, his son plays in our program. Well, I didn't know he was the owner of the company I now work for. I didn't know who he was. We had a conversation. He called me at work about some gym time and gym space, asked me what I'd done. And basically was interviewing me on the spot. I just thought he was very inquisitive. And I was like, this guy's asking a lot of questions. And afterwards, he was asked for my resume and told me who he was. And I was blown away. And he said, I'm exactly who he needs in this company.
Look at that.
And from there, he created a position for me that's never been in his company. So for me, starting Team Hickory, not looking for any profit from it, because again, every opportunity doesn't come with a paycheck. I was able to secure a job, making more money and having more time and more resources to give back than before. So, Marty, if you're listening, thank you so much. I'm honored to be in your company, and I can't thank you enough.
Now, what was his name one more time?
Marty Herndon, and he is the owner of Snyder Fleet Solutions, the company I work for.
Oh, Mr. Marty, what a wonderful owner you are to see wonderful talent, recognize it right on the spot. And I'm sure it's been a major asset to your organization as well by having Cassidy McCorkle on board. So I'm sure it's a win-win for both of you guys. So
Definitely.
hopefully you'll get to see this as well. Let's see. Glenda says, good morning, nephew. Your Aunt Glenda is listening from Atlanta.
Yeah, that's one of my backbones. One of the women, her and my uncle Mervyn, who helped raise me with my grandmother and my great grandmother and all my aunts. Like I said, it takes a community. So it's I'm going to know what she means to me. So thank you for.
Aunt Glenda, we love you. Okay, what is your next plan or your goal you have to continue to help your community? Akeem is asking.
Well, as I mentioned, the community art center, really with COVID, we haven't been able to gather, but I'm going to be partnered with a local pastor in Hickory and having a men's kind of gathering, a call to action, where we get the men together and then we reach out and start again in our homes, changing our homes first, and then reaching out into the community. So that'll be the next. I have a friend that I went to high school with. She works at State Employees Credit Union, and we're going to start having financial clinics to get people in the poorer class to understand credit, debt to income ratio, and just getting people financially literate, because financial literacy is something that's not always taught. So those are going to be the next steps for what we're trying to do with Team Hickory, and that's why we're Team Hickory Basketball Club, because we're all inclusive. We're not just Team Hickory Basketball. We're Team Hickory Basketball Club, because again, we're here to take care of our community. We just can bring people in and young people in through the game of basketball, men and women. I definitely want to stress that enough, that it's not just for men, it's for women as well.
Well, I've been putting all of your information here so that people will know how to stay connected with Team Hickory, and it's Team Hickory Club, because Basketball Club. Yes, Team ma'am. Hickory Basketball Club, because it's all inclusive is what I'm hearing from today's interview. So you're working with the young people, you're working with the parents, you're working with issues that people are dealing with to help them get things off of their records so that they can be productive citizens. You're helping children get into colleges and universities around the country, helping them identify what their gifts and their talents are so that they can choose a major that fits that right away versus having to be undecided. I've learned so much, and Cassidy McCorkle is going to be some type of leading authority in the government, some kind of way. I don't know. That's just a prediction of the future. I'm just saying what I see here. Okay, we'll see. And this will be some footage. He can go back to and say Kim Jacobs believed in him back when.
This is the jump off of my campaign. This will be the jump off of my campaign. This will be the starting point.
I'll be happy to use this platform for anything you're running for, because I just absolutely love your spirit and your energy and the positivity that you bring to the world. So, okay. Twitter at Team Hickory is how you can stay connected with Cassidy McCorkle and Team Hickory Basketball Club. You can also connect with them on Instagram, Team_Hickory. And so he has a big platform there. Make sure you go and follow his pages and his team's pages to be able to stay connected and hear updates from them. As well as on Facebook, it's Team Hickory Basketball. So it's facebook.com. For those that are on the audio podcast today, is www.facebook.com/Team Hickory Basketball / for those that are listening on iTunes and iHeartRadio. Okay. And if you would like to email Coach Cassidy McCorkle, and he will respond to your email, is Coach McCorkle 04 at gmail.com. Again, that's Coach McCorkle 04 at gmail.com. Or you can also email the Team Hickory Gmail account, which is Team Hickory Basketball Club at gmail.com. Team Hickory Basketball Club at gmail.com. How can people donate to support your venture and what you're doing? Because there are lots of people watching today that would love to pour into what you're doing.
Well, we accept all donations. Again, we try to have an operating budget of $5,000 just to have in for resources. Obviously, the season costs more. It costs close to 20,000-30,000.
Okay.
But we do have fees that kids pay. But any little bit that we can get can help. Like I said, you can reach out to me directly at Team Hickory Basketball Club at gmail.com or Coach McCorkle 04 at gmail.com. You can visit our website at teamhickory.org. We have a team store. Even you buying merchandise, a T-shirt, a sweatshirt, anything, that definitely gives back and increases our pot. We do have sponsorship packages starting at $100, $250, $500, and $1,000. And we do give you merchandise with your donations. And we do, T-shirts, Yetis, things of that nature. If you're a business, we're up in the process of updating our website. We'll have a sponsorship page, and then we'll make sure that you are recognized as a sponsor on our page. If you are a business locally or somewhere around and you have any advertisement or specials or deals, we'll make sure that we include that in on the promos and promotion page that we'll have for you. So,
okay. So I'm posting that as well. So that's teamhickory.org. You can purchase any merchandise on their actual website, and that will help towards them reaching their goal of they have a goal operating budget that they need to meet in order to be able to serve the young people. And also, if you're interested in sponsoring, they're updating their website to provide different sponsorship opportunities for you. But really, if you just reach out to Coach McCorkle directly, he can customize something that would work. Now I'm working for you. You're like, I didn't say that, Kim. I'm over here just totally doing my own thing. If you reach out to Coach McCorkle directly at Coach McCorkle 04 at gmail.com and ask about their sponsorship opportunities, he'll be able to send you that rate sheet, and you can be able to support a very worthy cause of some young people that are going to be world leaders. So. And
we are a 501(c) nonprofit, so all your money that you donate is a tax refund. So nothing is going directly to me or my pockets or to my board. It goes 100% to the children for their needs, resources, practice time, gym space, uniforms, balls. If they have recruiting trips, helping them with gas, or parents that don't have the means for hotels when we do go out of state, that's what this money goes to. So every little bit helps, and every little bit counts.
Excellent. So make sure you guys support Team Hickory Basketball Club, and just do it today, so that way you go ahead and get it off your plate. You've already did a donation to a 501(c)(3) approved organization. That's a tax deduction for you and as a tax write-off. So your donation will be tax deductible as well. Okay, Courtney says, this is my brother. He started Courtney Wellness Companion. And speaking of which, you two would enjoy connecting with each other, because he has a customized wellness program where he does a lot of training with young people. And he's lost about 90 pounds, no surgery, and has kept it off for over 15 years. He is just doing a tremendous job. And so he said, very inspiring what you are doing in your local community. Keep the faith. He actually did an exercise thing where he was exercising with watermelons and saying, first you want to work out with it and then eat it,
Yeah. And I thank you. And I would definitely like to have this.
It's okay. Say it one more time.
I'm sorry. Someone called me in the middle.
I was like, oh no, no. 2 minutes. Stop off. Get off this phone. They keep calling too. OMG. And the thing is, it's hard. I can't do anything about it whenever this kind of stuff happens, because I'm not in control of both sides here. But I can tell you what, he'll be right back on. But I can tell you that this has been a tremendous blessing to have Cassidy McCorkle on today. I encourage you, if you're interested in supporting, go to teamhickory.org and support his organization. And you can also email at coachmccorkle04@gmail.com. And let me also encourage you all, let me put this on here too. We have our, I didn't even tell you guys about this yet. We have our Quest Church prayer line that takes place Monday through Friday from 12 to 12:30. So make sure you know that you can jump on the prayer line at 978-990 and 5000, 978-990-5000. Access code is 322083#, and that's Monday through Friday. Pastor Jacobs is praying for COVID, basically people that are still impacted with COVID, that are living with this disease, this mysterious disease that's surfaced in our world and is taking a lot of toll on people's lives. So make sure you go and be a part of that prayer line, and all kinds of other things that's happening in our society. So some significant prayers going forward for everything that's happening. Okay. And if you have not become a Patreon member of the Kim Jacobs Show, I encourage you to do that. Make sure you go to patreon.com and be a part of that. Okay. So Cassidy's back on. Okay. Hey, Cassidy.
Thank you. Someone, I don't know who it's a number I don't have, but they keep trying to call
because they're so proud of you. That's why they're probably saying, come on, run for the government. That's what they're doing. They're calling you right now, trying to put their vote in.
So I was like, please stop calling me.
I'm on the Kim Jacobs Show.
So, yes, I was like, I'm live on the air.
Well, guys, listen, I mean, there's a lot of takeaway points. You can go back, you can share this broadcast with your friends, your coworkers, let people know that we have to start making change locally. The coach for Team Hickory Basketball Club, Cassidy McCorkle, has been with us today and has been a tremendous blessing. Any final closing thoughts or comments?
Love each other. Speak to someone who has different views from you. Come to a common ground that we're both human. Be the light and be the peace. We're living in, like I said, in a God versus Satan time. And we need to make sure that although we might think differently, that we have common goals to love each other. And it's in the Bible and it's in red print. Because, in our old Bibles, red print means Jesus said it. There's 2 commandments: love God and love your neighbor as yourself. Those are the greatest commandments of all. And if you can't do those 2 simple things, then you've missed the mark. And we're going to miss the mark at times. But understand that you have accountability in yourself and self-awareness to say, hey, I missed the mark here, but I'm going to try to be 1% better every day.
Wow. There you have it. Thank you guys for watching the Kim Jacobs Show, and I will see you tomorrow at 11 o'clock a.m.